right. Hello. Good evening. Welcome to another edition of the Link to the Past Challenge Cup, sort of the NIT, if you will, of the Legend of Zelda Link to the Past randomizer tournament. We still have some outstanding players here in this two-stage tournament. This is a group play match, Group AD, between CrimsonAvix on the right and farfelu, I hope I said that right, on the left. What should be a very entertaining match. I'm Pro A007, and joining me tonight is Leslie Pro04 on the mic. Welcome.
Good evening. Thank you, Pro A, and hello again, ZSR. I know it's been a hot minute. So for Challenge Cup, one of the things that we're doing this year is we're basically using the same flags that they're using in the main tournament. And one of the modes that can come up is tonight's mode. It is an inverted key sanity with a flute start. I had one of these seeds last night, and honestly, just thinking about where the logic took me in that one just makes my head hurt, so I'd rather not think about it.
Yeah, and so why don't you explain to those not quite familiar real quick, what does inverted key sanity mean for our runners tonight?
Alright, so let's break this down into two parts. The first part is inverted. In an inverted seed, you start in the dark world. And that can turn the logic of the game right on its head, as you may have to mirror to rescue the blacksmith from the light world side to get to the dark world to get the moon pearl, which if that happens, you're climbing Castle Tower as we're getting underway. The other part of it is the key sanity part, as maps, compasses, small and big keys are all in the item shuffle. And I see our two runners are already taking off, with farfelu heading towards Meyer's Shed and CrimsonAvix heading directly for the Village of Outcasts. Gotta watch your step here, because that bird will kill you in one hit.
And that's the other thing. We got a red boomerang in the C-shaped chest. The other thing worth noting here is because it's inverted, the enemies do hit harder because by the time you get to the dark world in the vanilla game, you're expected to have like 7 or 8 hearts. So it's not a one-hit KO like it would be in a regular game.
For a second, I thought Krem was going to be going for the archery game, which you can use to grind rupees early, and I did that in my seed last night. Oh my! He's found the boots. They're in Sphere 0 as farfelu comes up with the key to Hyrule Castle.
So a couple of good items there early for both runners. So that'll be interesting to see how that kind of plays out. And looks like Crimson is going to Meyer. Farfelu is still cleaning out the Village of Outcasts. He's going to go into Thieves Town, which he certainly can. He'll get 4 chests to look at here, and who knows? Well, that helps a bit.
That's why you go into Thieves Town for front 4 in any key sanity. In an inverted key sanity, this is Sphere 0. And Sphere 0 can be very valuable. And that's 1 Castle Tower small key, which with a weapon, farfelu could get to the first chest, and if he had a fire source, the second chest would be in logic. And Krim, unfortunately, ran into the ball that's on the wrong end of the bully.
Yeah, so chest number 3 was a GT small key, and the final key is, if bottom chest is a red rupee, so the moon pearl certainly pays off there.
Yeah, big time. Unfortunately, CrimsonAvix unable to outrun the Lionel to the spot. East Dark Death Mountain can be very tough to get to when you don't have enough hearts, because those Lionels hurt a lot.
Yeah. And farfelu is checking the shed and picks up 3 more bombs, so he could get a hype cave check early on here. Depends on how Far wants to play this. Looks like that's exactly where farfelu is going. Missing out on boots, unfortunately, from Stumpy, but nevertheless, this is 5.
I don't think he meant to do that, as Crim, once again, unable to get past the Lionels. I mean, this isn't Zelda 1 rando, but in inverted, it does become a Zelda randomizer, because you do get a good old-fashioned Lionel death.
Yeah, so they got a first big key, and it is to Meyer. Ooh, Fire Rod. And the compass to GT and the map to Eastern. So that's interesting. And for those not aware, if you get the map, you will be able to definitively determine if something is a crystal or a pendant dungeon.
And without the benefit of having to go to they're both in the light world this time, you'd be going to either the Big Bomb vendor or Sahasrara for that information. So it saves you a trip. And farfelu is about to find boots about right at the 5-minute mark, I'll say.
Yeah, not too bad. Crimson is actually making a dip into Skull Woods, which has 2 items. Well, actually, that's not true. That's because we're in Q-Sanity. But yeah, in a typical randomizer would be 2 items, but with the doors open here, this is actually not a bad play. So I think Crimson just kind of took just a quick death there, just to get his health back up, and there's $300.
Yeah, and that little extracurricular hit he took from the hard hat beetle is because this randomizer is based off of version 1.0 of the vanilla game, which does not despawn the player's sprite when falling down a hole. That's how that damage transfers over.
So farfelu is playing the archery game. Got some money so we can play the digging game. See how this plays out. That's $80, and let's see if we can turn a profit off of this game. Depending on, oh, never mind. But he does get a sword, so works out.
Yeah, took a loss of about 50 or so rupees, but considering he got a sword, I'd say it was worth it.
Agreed. And farfelu's heading back to Village of Outcasts. Looks like he's also going to make the trip up toward Skull Woods. 4-heart moth, anyone? Oh, good God. Oh.
I'm just going to say that right now. Oh, hell no.
Yeah, that's pretty nasty. Crimson is going into the bombable HUD. He's going to get those 3 extra bombs. Yeah. Yeah, impractical. Oh, and farfelu takes a death there. I don't think that was intended.
That was definitely not intended. That was a case of just hitting the enemy back into the wall, and he got popped on the rebound.
Yeah. So, back to Village of Outcasts. Looks like farfelu's going to try again. So, yeah, already the options are kind of dwindling for the runners here. It definitely looks like Skullwoods might be holding something of particular value here, but remains to be seen where and what exactly. Farfelu, with that fire rod, though, can make the trip deeper into Skullwoods. There's a ferry. Farfelu. Crimson has not got the sword yet. He's not played the digging game. Okay, another compass for Turtle Rock.
Yeah, at this point, Farfelu's waiting for the Wallmaster to take him back to the entrance, and boom, there you go. That's much faster than pushing that statue back out of the way. Also, if you're low on magic, bomb that wall, because the pot in the next room has a full magic refill.
So, yeah, so chat saying Moth is out of logic. That's true, but certainly that first chest is in play, and perhaps it will give us something tangible. Although looks like Farfelu's going for this.
This is a very risky, very bold strategy, and personally, I don't recommend it because a 4-heart moth fight, that's not even something I'll attempt. And I've attempted 5-heart moth with blue mail. This is 4-heart moth with green mail.
Yeah.
Not a lot of room for error here.
Yeah, definitely not. They got a good item drop, though, with that full decanter of magic. So Farfelu will be going to Moth with, about as good as you can get as far as magic goes. Okay, well, all right. He's got to hope for some good RNG here with the... Oh, nice dodging there by Farfelu. Just really, okay, he's down to his last shot. He's got one hit left from the spikes or...
Oh, he got hit from behind by the spike slider. And I gotta tip my cap. Farfelu gave that a gamer's effort for sure.
Yep.
Just came up short.
Yeah, and unfortunately, one of his fire rod shots, I believe, actually did not connect. So it actually was canceled out. So that hurt him. But he's going to check the chest in the corner here and comes up with a map for Dark Palace. Meanwhile, Crimson is saving the old man.
Yeah, fun fact about this is you can't go in any caves with the old man. The reward is the first pod small key of the seed. There are 6 of these in the item pool. I am surprised he didn't go back up the mountain to check what was inside Spectacle Rock Cave. But when you're walking the old man, you can't check that.
Yeah, so just get that out of the way. Farfelu is heading... he's going to make the trip to Eastern Death Mountain. Crimson had some trouble with this earlier.
Oh, he almost made it, but the Lionel Beam said no.
They'll do that.
What makes this tough is right now neither runner has anything that'll damage a Lionel in their inventory, because you need, at the minimum... Okay, that worked. Oh, watch your step, Crim. You do not want to take a death now.
That worked out pretty well.
A dark walk.
Yeah, Crimson was fortunate there, so get a couple of checks here. In Super Bunny Cave, comes with a piece of heart and bombs. So, not what he was hoping for.
Honestly, I'm starting to think the next logical play might be the first chest of Castle Tower, because that is open right now.
It certainly seems like it could be going that way. Bombos required to open TR.
And moving into the first chest of Hookshot Cave, that could most certainly be something at this juncture.
Well, once they get gloves, yeah.
Well, yeah, of course. At this point, I'm so used to having gloves when coming up this way that it's pretty easy to forget that detail, because inverted really turns this game on its head.
Yeah, you certainly hope so, given the title of Inverted, but, yeah, so Farfelu is gonna... He's making his way down, and we'll be getting Dark Key, Spectacle Rock, not much there, so, alright, so... Farfelu's got to his way up. Alright, so... It looks like Crimson might be making a run. Oh, well.
He was making a run until the plant, which kind of resembles Manhandle from the first game, said no. And those things hit for many hearts. Like, I can't remember if it's 3 or 4 off the top of my head, but it hurts a lot.
Yeah, so Farfelu gets stun prize of looks like he's gonna make another run at Mothula here. No, Crimson's not going for Dark Palace, so it's like Pyramid.
Yep. Yeah, this is a run to the Pyramid. Not a bad strategy here. It's one item. It's out of the way, but it could easily be something in this scenario.
Well, and Crimson's probably also thinking, really don't want to do Mothula this early. Really hope it's not. You're not making me do this. I mean, you wouldn't think the logic would be that cruel, but, assume nothing. And, well, that'll
help.
That kind of greases the wheels a little bit, gives you a little bit more room for error if you do it. Mothula does end up being the answer here. Ooh, Farfelu taking some damage.
There is a heart in this room, so refill, recover, keep going.
Actually passed up a full magic bottle earlier. The first Gibdo he took down actually gave him one. But
yeah, Gibdos have been dropping those a lot in this seed. Seeing a lot of magic drops early.
He's hoping this one will give him what he needs. Does not. So, oh boy, he's drawing dead here, so he's gonna have to hope for some generosity from Mothula, a boss not really known for anything of the kind.
Yeah, this boss is known for giving runners the business, even in an NMG run.
Yeah,
this is just worse.
He got clipped. He's got clipped by a moving spike. He missed a shot with the fire rod. He can't. He's out. So yeah, fortunately, round 2 does not go any better than round 1 did.
Although Crim takes a different approach to the big key room. He just takes a death warp. It's also worth noting that when you burn an enemy after stunning it, you are not guaranteed to get a stun prize.
Right. Alright, so Crimson is now heading to the back of Skull Woods in a slightly better spot. You know, it gets one chance at this, but that red potion could really help here.
And this is where a strategy that gets utilized in Zelda 1 Rando could actually come into play here. You do a save and continue after this death, and if the fight fails, just hit the reset button. It's the equivalent of an up A retry.
Right. So Farfelu actually is going back to the front of Skullwoods. There were a couple of chests he did not get.
Quake.
Actually, I don't think Crimson got that either. I don't recall Crimson going to get Quake, and it's not on the trackers, so I'm guessing not. So yeah, Meyer is now in play, and with Big Key, well, you know, that's good. A few checks are in play.
Yeah, this is a Meyer where personally I would be more interested in clearing everything in the dungeon but the boss, because at this point you are ill-equipped for Vitreous. Now, it would be a fight that would take a while. Anyway, here's Crim's Mothula fight.
Oh, right, and the chat pointing out, well, even if we wanted to, we don't have the Cane of Samaria, so moot point. So Crimson having a little more trouble with this. Oh, he missed. Oh, missed 2 fire rod shots in a row, and then got zapped by Mothula.
And that zap is for 2 hearts of damage. At this point, that's half your health.
Right, he was he got dinged twice by the spikes. So yeah, that was basically it. But not exactly the worst thing. If you get your things play out, you can always kind of work it out. So we got a lot of Whiz Robes here in Meyer. No problems there. Ooh, Avix.
Running into a Gibdo, and the Gibdo hugs hurt the same here as they do in Zelda 1. 2 hearts. Yep. Same with the Whiz Robe beams. That's 4 hearts of damage, and at this point, that would be a 1-hit KO.
Right. Yeah. So, on top of everything else, these runners are going to be looking, for some health to go along with everything else, but not so far. 1 heart container in Hype Cave. Otherwise, it's not been the healthiest of healthy seeds. There have been a couple of pieces of heart, I believe, but that's about it. There's a big key to Turtle Rock. Wow, nice.
Yep, and unfortunately, Farfelu paid for that by taking a death. However, that could very well be worth it.
So, Crimson using Fighter's Sword to take out the Gibdos. Does not want to burn magic on them. Oh, they got clocked anyways by the last Gibdo. Alright, so that actually works out pretty well for Crimson. He's going to go get that magic and then zip in there before the door closes. Ooh. Crimson's going to wait this out. Alright, we'll see how he decides to approach this here. Ooh, nice dodge by Farfelu. Almost got hit. But but
Used
Avix.
one too many fire rod shots, though. That's a GT small there.
So yeah, both runners trying to get something out of this opening. Unfortunately, they're not getting a lot of help from the sea. Crimson's had enough. Is going to head back up to Dark Death Mountain. Meanwhile, farfelu, I think, is going for some.
Looking for a magic drop at this point.
Yeah.
As for Grim, I wouldn't be surprised if, yep, he is going up into Castle Tower to see what the first chest is. This could be an answer that breaks the seed open.
Hopefully, yeah, because right now both runners have been laboring a bit here. Just 5 rupees for farfelu.
Nice dash over the railing. There's a setup for that I haven't learned, but it's rather specific. Well, how about that? We got a bow in mire.
Wow. And a blue shield, so map to the Ice Palace.
I think farfelu is taking a death intentionally to reset the dungeon.
Yeah, he's hoping to do it
without that large magic pot.
Yeah.
Looks like Crimson is doing Dark Walk.
Yeah, again, out of logic. He's having a hard time with the guards.
Now, the only problem with taking a Death Warp in Mire is you have to clear Mire 2 all over again.
Yeah, alright. Oh! Crimson got
gets the hit, he gets through Dark Walking Aga, but then gets bopped, has to do it again. Now I see why he didn't use the Fire Rod in the first room the first time around. He was trying to save magic.
Yeah, which makes sense. Unfortunately, was not able to. There's some magic, and okay, so farfelu does get the. Have to wait about 15 seconds here.
That's a time where you can just relax your hands for a bit. And chat pointing out that there are no torches in the first room, which makes this out of logic without the lamp.
The big chest, the big key chest in Mire just had a piece of heart, which is actually not unwelcome. Okay, so he got more magic. There it is. Alright, so... And it's just all that for the compass to Mire. So farfelu, with that bow, has more access now to pod. At the 26-minute mark, we still don't have a crystal yet from either runner. Not for lack of trying, Mothula is just too much right now. Looks like Crimson might also be making a... Yeah, was gonna make the run.
But then the murder dactyl said, not so fast.
Alright, so one guaranteed check here in pod. Well...
French Vanilla Hammer. Now we're just a glove away from really breaking this seed open with Light World access. That glove could be right here in pod.
Could be.
Also, that's a Sphere Zero Hammer locked behind money.
Yeah. Chat pointing out that Mothula just got a lot easier because now you have a weapon that tempered sword damage to Mothula, which is true. The small range of the hammer, though, does make it still challenging.
It's not just the small range of the hammer. The hitbox of the hammer is kind of weird, takes some getting used to. Although, to be fair, using hammer on Mothula is basically a swordless or low percent strat. Take your pick on that one.
Right. Alright, so Farfelu picks up a key to Mire. That could be useful. Okay, and a compass to Hera.
Death Warp from Crim, that makes a lot of sense for this dungeon, because without the mirror, there are a number of spots where Death Warping is very advantageous. Oh, hello, hookshot! So now, in the light world, East Death Mountain just opened up.
Yeah, still short gloves, but that does help. It's going to make some strats a lot easier for our runners. So we got a few more checks here for Farfelu. $20 there. So we go into the to the basement, which is I know it's out of logic, but still.
Actually, not so fast. When it's
Oh, no, you're right.
Setup with the fire rod, because the
yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it would be in logic with the fire rod only because there are torches here. Right. Oh, that's a blue mail for Farfelu. A welcome sight for sure.
So again, it might be yeah. I forgot about the logic, but yeah, you're right. Yeah, all of a sudden, man, we're looking at definitely some good stuff here.
And unfortunately, Crim missed the potion glitch and won't be able to get to the bowl. Okay, that was just rude, game. Well, there are ways around that. You can just manipulate the enemies. You can throw a bomb down to the ledge and you just blast them all down the hole. Oh, and he got caught.
Yeah, Crimson getting the hook shot. I'm sure he's pleased to see that. So Farfelu is done right now with Pod is heading back to Dark Death Mountain. I think we're gonna get some light world checks here.
Yeah, this is definitely the play now, no doubt about it, because that hammer hook shot combination, you just opened up all of East Death Mountain and you also opened up the Tower of Hera.
Yeah, and you know, runners have been looking for that sort of opening, and yeah, both runners have the same idea. Both heading for East Death Mountain. So we got our runners in sync here. In terms of items, there are some minor differences. Farfelu does have the bow, but Crimson has a bottle. And there's the Cane of Samaria.
So that makes Misery Mire, if it's a crystal, a hard required double dip.
Yep. We got a compass to thieves. Compass to Ice Palace. Piece of heart, and there's the power glove.
It's so bad. And that's access to the rest of Light World.
Alright, so Seed has really opened up in the last 5 minutes for the runners. Again, Farfelu with the advantage in terms of items because of that bow right now in the short term.
Could turn into a long-term gain for Crim if he finds the other bow, because bows are progressive in this flag set, and the floating island is a key to Ganon's tower. And we can drop down to Mimic Cave. That's an inverted exclusive. as a number of entrances that were mirror locked otherwise were, well, let's just say the game was changed to be made accessible. Unfortunately, just $20.
Yeah, but still a good check on Farfelu's side. Looks like is going to make a run to Tower of Hera here.
Which is 2 checks in logic, but if he knows how to do Harapot, he gains 2 more that are out of logic.
Right. So 10 arrows there in the basement. Big. So yeah, just a lot of nothing right now. Yeah, it looks like Avix is setting up for Harapot.
Yeah, Harapot is randomizer only, used to break logic in Tower of Hera.
Looks like Avix likes what he's... Oh, did not get it.
Yeah, we'll see if Farfelu goes for it.
Well,
Yep, he's using a different setup, using the boots to bonk, pause buffers to set the positioning. And he got it.
Very nice.
And Crim's going right for Light World. I do not blame him. And the 4th floor chest that's not the big chest is a B.
Yeah, gets a bottle, so you know, if nothing else, that's something Farfelu needs, you know, just as insurance. But it looks like Crimson is going to make the South Light World checks here, while Farfelu is going to finally take on Troll Dorm with 3 hammer strikes that will be enough to get rid of him.
And hammer's the one thing that not sword related that can damage Moldorm. That's 300 rupees and the blue pendant for his trouble.
Yeah, so not really, unless, you know, by some miracle this ends up being ped repaired. Not what they were hoping for. So I wouldn't say it's wasted, but it's probably a little dispiriting nonetheless. As Farfelu is heading eastbound, he's going to do Spiral Cave.
Spiral Cave without boots is not a fun time. Thankfully, they have boots. We're looking at Mini Moldorm Cave on Crim's side. That's a Turtle Rock small. Bill's a heart container. He'll take that and a Turtle Rock small.
2 Turtle Rock smalls. Interesting.
I believe Farfelu might... No, I think he changed his mind on where he wants to go.
Might be doing some Light World checks himself. Yep, so a Nice Rod Cave, and the answer is... Ooh.
Oh. Well, can't knock that for convenience because there are flipper checks nearby, Lake Hylia Island being one of them, as well as Hobo. And anybody care for a swim to Zora's domain?
Unfortunately for Crimson, is short on the money to get whatever Zora is holding today. Check on Lake Hylia Island, and is a big key, so pick that up, and... Ooh, Swamp Palace big.
That actually flips nicely with the logic, because you need flippers for that dungeon anyway.
Right. Farfelu is heading to the library, and there's a small key in there. We got Thieves Town. All right.
Oh, that's access to the big chest, but you still need the big key to make that work.
Right. And Hobo is got a map to Thieves Town, so Farfelu is working his way backwards through Kakariko. Crimson continues on with the Lake Hylia checks. Because we have the bottle, we can check Sick Kid and just 10 arrows. Guessing Sick Kid had a arrow-related injury.
Or may also be an archery enthusiast in this seed. You never know.
Could be.
And no bird clip for Farfelu this time.
There's a big key for Ice Palace. Couple of small keys, one to Dark Pod, one to Desert. Bottle Vendor has a small key to GT. There's a small key top there on the island. Desert Palace Compass. Other TR key. So our tracker Tumble Talk 13 all 4 GT keys.
Now we get Blind's hideout on Farfelu's side.
A small key to Meyer. Half magic.
Hey, take that any day of the week. And that's
the big
pod
key.
Big key.
And the pod big key, very nice. And more money because can't have enough of that. So Farfelu is pretty well set as far as inventory for that. But we'll see how this plays out. Looks like Farfelu is going to give Montiel another shot here with Blue Mail and Half Magic. This is certainly less daunting than it was. Well, not yet, but do Lost Woods checks first. But the point still stands. I think he might be thinking like, well, let's give it another shot here, right?
Yeah, if he had the mirror, I definitely could see that. He just got refilled on bombs in the Lost Woods, by the way. And while he's probably going to check the Lumberjack tree check, we can't check this early game in an inverted seed. It basically becomes a mid-game check. So if you get into Light World before dealing with Aghanim, you may still have an Aga-required seed anyway, if there's something here.
Right. Alright. And the moment of truth.
Ooh, that's a small key. I would not chance that.
You hope it doesn't come to that, certainly.
Yeah, this is one of those where I'll see what a chat has to think on this one. Do you put that off? If so, how long do you put it off? Or do you just charge Castle Tower right away to open up the way to Dark World via Hyrule Castle and just get it out of the way, out of sight, out of mind?
Well, it's probably too early for that, logistically, but it's Sanctuary, and there's a big key to Desert, so getting closer to, I just need a mirror for that, or a book at this point.
This, for Inverted Seed, getting into Desert Palace is book and book only.
Oh, it's book only? Okay. I wasn't 100% sure on that, but makes sense. And, ooh, there's ether, so we're we got 2/3 of now. Farfelu does. Crimson is still Ofer on that side.
I'm wondering, did he not open the pop prison chest, or did he take a death in that room?
Don't know. Back of escape comes up empty. Farfelu's gonna backtrack through the.
Yep, more fire rod fun in the sewers. That's a shovel. Well, he's not going to be able to exit that way unless they change that in an inverted seed. But typically, you have to do the castle from the front. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. Tried that once, it didn't work out. Because that door is a one-way.
Right. So, got some checks now Farfelu can do. We'll see how he decides to play this. Answer chat's question, who's ahead? Nobody's really gained a significant advantage over the other. Farfelu probably leads only by virtue of having the bow, which he got in Mire. But we're a long way off. Yeah, Quake Medallion and the bow. Those are two advantages. Alright, we got both boomerangs now. Smoky to Skull Woods, not really needed. The big key remains elusive there.
And since that's a big key that is not necessarily required to reach the boss, it could be anywhere.
So we're gonna head to like we would be going in the traditional way of get what we can out of that, and we got a big key to Eastern, so it's in play now.
I thought I saw a green pendant on a map check of Eastern on Crim's side. Only a short glance, though, so I could be wrong.
There's a can of burn. Ah, yeah, good point. Yeah, Crimson, yeah, Eastern is the green pendant, but... Alright, last check.
He's setting up a death warp here. A hard short, though.
Well,
And the big key leads to the Thieves' Town big, so now Thieves' Town is clearable.
that I imagine will be his next move, for sure. Well, maybe not. Okay, so it looks like Farfelu is gonna go and do the South Hyrule checks. Crimson's already done it. Got the flippers for an Ice Rod Cave and a couple other small party gifts as well.
Yeah, and Crimson's about to do the same thing Farfelu did and realize that he is a one-way door locked. Or rather, he will realize that. This is not something you typically do routing-wise, but it is a thing that can come up.
Yeah. Crimson's kind of still hacking away here. I don't think he's figured it out. There it is.
Yeah, he's about to.
Alright, so flippers for Farfelu. Farfelu will be able to get the info on Zora, whereas Crimson could not. Crimson was, at the time, a couple hundred rupees short.
Set up a water walk. Nice.
Because why not?
Looks like Crimson's about to use the shovel, and we'll see what that gives him.
We don't know that one yet. This will be our first check of that. We're at the 50-minute mark, and neither runner has a crystal yet. We got lots of items, but nothing to really break this seed open. Well, that's not unwelcome. Another heart container. Health has been rather limited here. Correct me if I'm wrong, this is under hard settings, correct?
Actually, no, that's only the open settings that are hard, although what's making this seed seem like it's hard is that health has really been in limited supply.
Okay, so they can still get 20 hearts, okay. So I wasn't sure if they were playing under hard mode or whatever, but yeah, it's been a poverty stricken seed as far as health goes, for sure.
And typically those type of seeds are in Zelda 1 rando when the big secret rolls into the 50s when you have that shuffle turned on.
Right. Alright, so we're gonna get another check that we haven't seen yet, which is Zora for $500. Is it a scam, or is it actually, worth our while? I would say that's worth our while.
Big time. Mirror doesn't do nearly as much in this mode as it does in the vanilla game. Excuse me. But what Mirror does do is allow for Smith Chain to be done without using the Titans mix at all.
Right.
In fact, the only thing the Titans mix are used for in a inverted seed is King's Tomb. Hard locked by mix. That's basically it.
Right. Okay, so we got crystals. We got confirmed crystals at Pod, Thieves, and Mire, and the red crystal at Mire. Another small key and to Skull Woods. Well, that's probably the one thing he didn't need. Like, I don't need that. The only thing he needs is a big key if he wants to open that big chest, or he really feels like it's gonna pay off. Otherwise, you know. Alright, so...
This could be a potion refill on Farfelu's end. At 5 hearts, it makes a lot of sense to do so. Ooh, and Crimson misfired on the boomerang. He tried to stun the guard, but was just a little outside. I meant just a little bit outside. I realize I misquoted that after I said it. Oops!
Well... It's only been, what, a few days since you last saw Major League? So, Farfelu... Really... Oh, is he going for Ice Palace?
Potentially, but here's the thing here. You don't need Mirror for Ice Palace, because in Inverted, that entrance is wide open as Trim is running to Eastern.
Alright, so... More checks we haven't seen. Nobody's been to the Sarsaparilla yet, so, we're gonna get a look here, I think. Oh! Oh, wait. Did Farfelu go to Sarsaparilla, or am I where did that other mail come from?
I am not 100% sure on that one,
well,
but there's the silver arrows for Farfelu.
Alright, so...
Based off his key setup right now, if he as he does Icebreaker, if he wants to go and take out Vitreous, he most certainly can, because the silvers make that fight very trivial.
Yeah, well, right now he's going to fight Cold Stare, but you're right. If he wants to take on Vitreous, yeah, that's an easy fight, for sure. Map of the Tower of Hera, well, we already know what that one is. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Alright, there's a heart. There's another heart for Farfelu. Is Crimson underway here in Eastern. Now,
also worth noting the P on Crimson's side for Eastern. That is a pendant or crystal indicator added into Randomizer. You do not see that in the Key Sanity, or any sort of map shuffle for that matter, until you have the map.
So, one more check for Farfelu. Take on Cold Stare.
It looks like the game wants you to go to Eastern first before going into Pod, because there are a lot of Pod small keys in there, and Grim's come up with a few of them.
Yeah, and allow Crimson, when it goes back to Pod, to clear the decks on that stuff. Farfelu's heading downstairs to take on Cold Stare.
Now, half magic's gonna help with this fight because you'll be able to use more fire rod shots. And in the absence of magic, the hammer does pretty good damage to cold stare, but watch out, cold stare hits like a truck.
Yeah, good news. Blue mail will offset some of that, but it's not a given. Oh, he missed his opening shot. He's got to be careful. Okay, you got two of them. Oh, he's gonna fight. He wants. Guts no glory.
Got him! Nicely done!
Very nice. And at 58:47, we finally have our first crystal. But the bow remains Crimson's biggest challenge. Needs a bow to really move things forward here.
Yeah, and right now, the way I see it, the longer Crim goes without a bow, the harder it'll be to win this. And Desert is the other 5/6 crystal for this seed.
Alright, so that's informative.
So now the question is, which of the remaining pendants is in the Dark World?
So it's Swamp or Skull, and looks like Farfelu's going to do or TR. That's true.
Yeah, I was going to say that's not a 50-50. That's a 33 1/3. But when you put in all this mess in, it's a 141 2/3% chance of chaos.
Well, there's that. Crimson gets the mirror long overdue, and he's probably a little peeved right now.
Master Sword in the first chest of Swamp. That is a great pickup for Farfelu.
Yeah, that really, again, gives Farfelu some badly needed breathing room with some of the combat stuff, because right now it's really been a grind as far as that goes. He's gonna check Agina. No, not Agina. Oh, I see. Gonna check Checkerboard Cave. Third pendant is Swamp. Alright, so thank you to our tracker for confirming on that. So we have knowledge, runners don't. That's true. Yeah. It's just a question whether we use it or not. Another key to pod. I mean, we're getting our fill of those, certainly.
Considering we had to go there earlier, I think pod can be cleared now by Farfelu if he's willing to do the Dark Walks. But instead, he's going into Thieves Town, which makes a lot more sense. You have the keys needed to get to and beat Blind, plus you're at 7 hearts and blue mail. This is fine.
And blue cane, you know, this is about nothing is free, but or a gimme, but he's in really good shape to get that second crystal.
Prim's already inside of Thieves Town.
Yeah. And try to confirm that's our 5th pod key between the two of them. They don't have all of the keys individually, but they've collected all of them between them. Alright, so actually a couple of rooms separating the two runners. Crimson kind of in a slight bother right now with the health. Only 3 hearts. Well, actually, farfelu's at 3, so not exactly picture of health himself, but gets a fairy out of the deal, so that's nice.
Yeah, that gets Crim back to full health at 6 hearts. Even with Blue Mail, would still have a slightly tougher blind fight, but it's still very doable.
Oh. Missing 1 key. Okay, thank you. Alright, so Crimson about to take on Blind.
And Blind's got jokes for days.
He'll be here all night. So Crimson is ready with a Cane of Burn fight, which is scripted, get out of hand. But no problem. Nine sword hits. We're $300 for his troubles.
And he's on the board.
104.29 Thieves Town, which oddly is
Well, that's
okay.
a nice glitchy effect on Farfelu's end. Did he just use mirror or something?
Must have. Well, he's getting hit pretty good there, but finish him off. He'll get his second crystal at 105.08, so back to a 2-1, now up to a 2-1 lead. With Ice Palace and Thieves in the books, and I imagine his top is going to be Skull Woods. Get his third crystal.
Yeah, Crim's now in Skull Woods, and now he sees that 5 out of 8. If he leaves here without the Quake Medallion, he's in a world of hurt.
Yeah.
Oh wow, Farfelu, these graphics are drunk like it's an April Fool's Day joke. Oh my goodness.
Alright, we're back.
He checked the map, so the glitchiness ended. Although I can think of folks who would actually try to play the game looking like pixel vomit.
Oh, come on. You would totally do that.
Interesting. But it would hurt the eyes, too.
Yeah, it would. No doubt about that. Looks like Farfelu might be setting up for a Smith Chain.
Yeah, so basically you mirror at the steps to the right before the door to the library, and that puts you in position. Well, a bit to the left, actually.
Yeah, I was going to say, Crimson taking on Mothula this time, once again, and he's pretty free with the his fire rod, but unfortunately took a lot of damage, so now he's going to fill and to guarantee, and yeah, of course, last chance, and takes care of him, and there's Bombo.
Wow.
Oof.
That was definitely worth it, as that Bombos is hard required to get into Turtle Rock. At least the front way. You can use Mirror to do some backdoor stuff to also get into Turtle Rock that way. Which is the other use for Mirror in Inverted.
Right. So, Farfelu playing games with them. Alright, so gonna... Yeah, another art container.
And there's the Quake medallion for Crim, and he's just mirroring out. I don't blame him.
So, yeah, so badly needed by CrimsonAvix. Now we'll be able to enter Mire and start moving, just making some progress on that dungeon. Get the bow and try and level this up. They're even on crystals right now at 2-2, but again, the long term still remains on farfelu's side, because silver arrows is not insignificant. That's going to allow him to basically bulldoze his way through Vitreous and a couple other bosses.
Yeah, Helmasaur King Phase 2 is a high and buy at that point.
Right. Okay, so farfelu's actually going to do the shovel real quick. Get a heart container. So the hearts are finally, after really spending about 45 minutes with their backs to the wall. At least farfelu got at 9 is probably feeling a lot better about his situation health wise.
Yeah, I'd certainly be feeling better at this point if I'm farfelu, because that health is a security blanket that definitely helps.
Yeah.
Oh, what's this? Another Skullwood Small. That was just not worth it.
No. Now, this is Crimson's actually first match in Group 3rd. Farfelu is 1-1. A win here all but assures him, at the very worst, a tiebreaker. But his probability of moving on to the round of 64, because it's top 2 from each group, will move on. So I imagine he's got to be thinking, yep, that's what I need. A win here pretty much punches his ticket. So he sees...
Yeah, he sees it, and the misfortune of coming so close yet not able to get it done earlier with Mothula. Hey, if he does it now, it's all good, and he has his bombos.
Well,
which I will say, if you missed it earlier, was an A+ effort against Mothula. You just didn't get the result. And that does happen sometimes.
Yeah, he missed one shot and with the fire rod, or a fire rod shot was canceled, and that really, I think, sunk his chances, and then he got sniped from behind by a spike. So yeah, but now we're going to check Hookshot Cave. There's Titan's Mitt.
Well, that does also make getting into Light World a lot easier, which is... Oh, the Swamp Small was up here too? Oh my. And the Swamp Small.
So, some nice, nice parting gifts there.
Now, the only thing that those Titan's Mitts can be hard required for, like I said, is King's Tomb. But like I said, it does make getting into Light World a lot easier. So you could have a scenario where those Mitts are actually your Light World access for a bit. Crazy as that may sound, but hey, some things do parallel the main game still.
The big chest in Turtle Rock was a heart container, so yeah, he's gonna do the back half of Turtle Rock. It looks like several checks he can do. Cannot fight Trinex, still short a an ice rod.
Yep, this is just like the vanilla game in the sense that you're left wondering, where in the world's the godforsaken ice rod? And just like the normal game, it can be anywhere but the hands of Trinex.
Right. And Farfelu is gonna check around here. Okay, Crimson picks up the Master Sword, so now up to speed on that front. Another key for Farfelu. Check what the big key normally is.
Now that Master Sword, yeah, that's Green Rupee. There's two of those, so it's really hard to say which one is the Green Rupee of Eternal Glory, or Greg as it's known in the ZSR community. So it's basically a Greg 1 and Greg 2 deal. But Crim's going into ice. I think the Master Sword basically helped him to feel comfortable about this play, because Fighter Sword Cold Stare can get pretty rough pretty quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, and so yeah, reverse engineering Turtle Rock here.
That bow might also send Crim over to Misery Mire after this, potentially.
Potentially, yeah, and so this actually really works out pretty well for Crimson on that front. Because that was the one real advantage Farfelu was holding in his back pocket was the bow. That's no longer true. So this really does help on that front. So we got 2 checks here, 10 bombs, and another piece of hearts. So not exactly a waste, but he's probably thinking, what now?
Yep, certainly been there, especially with this type of mode. Has to be careful at 1 heart. Crim was struggling with Icebreaker for a bit, but does get it, so he'll also be utilizing that same movement tech that Farfelu used earlier. And personally, I do not know how to do that, and personally, let's just say I'm not a fan, but I see why it's done.
Yeah. Pick up a couple of fairy. I'm gonna pick up 1 fairy here. Just get him back up on the positive side. He's got 10 hearts now.
Yeah, more importantly, where this cave lets him out, he mirrors here, and he's at Laser Bridge.
Yep.
Except
Crimson.
he mirror bombs.
Alright, so here we go. 4 checks. Ooh. Well, there's a bottle. Having a little trouble with the lasers.
Yeah, this can be quite troubling. Oh, there's the book!
Just enough magic to grab the final item, which was the big key to Skullwood, so that actually might send him back to Skull and finish that off. Because that's now 100% clearable. Nope.
No, I think he's going for the finish Mire play. No, I'm getting it backwards. Inverted things. We'll mess with your head, folks. He's going for the tablet.
Yeah, he's probably going for the double, though, I would say.
Yeah, that makes the most sense here. Go for the double and get some magic powder.
Not unwelcome. Turn those anti-fairies into fairies. There's $20 on the desert ledge. So yeah, we're going for a double here. And that's really gonna... Yeah, both red crystals at the same time. I'm sure he's chomping at the bit here. Crimson almost a cold stare. Use a fortuitous fairy right about now.
But there's a spot he can get one, or he can just powder this anti-fairy. Oh, wait, he doesn't have powder. I'm
Yeah, he
getting
doesn't
the
have
two
powder.
hunters mixed up.
Yeah, so, okay, so we're underway. Underway here in Desert. Alright, so... Oh, red shield. Not
That's
bad,
nice.
but it's a nice little comfort, I think, more than anything.
Yeah, if anything, the red shield really helps for blind because you can block the fireballs. And Crim is unleashing Bombos on Cold Stare. Both remaining progressive shields in Desert. GG game.
Well, you know, the game's had to end up somewhere, didn't it?
Yeah, I swear sometimes this randomizer has a weird sense of humor.
You know, you're assuming it has a sense of humor, but,
Yeah, that's a substitute. Oh, Crimson becomes a Cold Stare sandwich there, but is still hanging on and finishes the fight.
Very nice. Alright, so 119.47. So actually now Crimson in the lead for the moment on the crystal count 3-2. That, I say, as far as the sense of humor, it's that old Calvin and Hobbes line. It's like, funny world, Hobbes. True. But it's not a hilarious world unless you like sick humor.
Ain't that the truth?
Of course, he says that after they go off the cliff on their wagon, you know, so take that for what you will. Alright.
Crim's going up for Catfish, and we're about to get a Landmo fight on Farfelu's side.
Those silver arrows is going to make this really fast.
Yep, you just have to hit your shots.
He's got plenty of ammo. Oh, he missed the opener. Got no zero cycle here, but no problem. Still clears him out. And, oh, a red sword.
Oh, nice. That is a great find for Farfelu, because that'll make a lot of the remaining combat much easier. And he's now at the point where you would be combat-wise at the end of an NMG run. Because Tempered Sword gets picked up after Thieves Town, and that gets carried to the end of the game.
Correct. So, alright. So, Farfelu is going to go for the double here. Crimson is heading to Palace of Darkness, which is now much more accessible than it was before. Now we bow. We chat with our tracker Tumultalk did ask a good question earlier. Where is that lamp? What do we need that could be on pedestal? Well, the ice rod, of course. And that's kind of the gimme, isn't it?
Yeah, the other gimme in this scenario would be the Ganon's Tower Big Key.
Yep.
I don't think so in this case, because some of the dark rooms would require lamp heading to the big key chest. I don't think that's a thing here, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I think just based on the logic, I think that's out.
Oof, this is bold, Farfelu. You're going for the Meyer Darkroom strats.
Yeah. You can get it. Okay, there he is. Interesting strat using a Cane of Burna there to kind of help for Farfelu kind of guide his way through some of the dark room. You don't really see that happen too often.
No, you don't. I think that was more or less utilized to pass through the spike in the third room.
I believe that's correct. Yeah, but it is not something very often. Hell, I don't even remember it happening. But nevertheless, Farfelu is ready for Vitreous, and with silver arrows, this is going to be really quick.
So the blue mail that Trim found was one that Farfelu hadn't seen. Prim just got the red mail out of Pod Basement, and Vitreous, done like that, gets an arrow refill and a crystal.
So Farfelu up 4-3 now on the crystals, and can make quick work of the ones he still has in play. I believe he has everything he needs to knock out the remaining 3.
Outside of the Ice Rod, and it looked like Krim was setting up for a hammer yump, but didn't like the angle and bailed out.
Wait, I'm sorry. Ice Rod's still in play, so you can get crystals 5, and you can go up to 6 crystals. Turtle Rock is a crystal because we've confirmed based on everything on what we can see. Swamp is the third pendant. So it's Hera, Eastern, and Swamp today.
My seed last night was a Vanilla Light World. You see, when you have a map shuffle and without any bossimizer, then you could absolutely deduce what dungeons you do and don't need as Krim hits Hammer Yump and gets a small key to Mire. There's the Ice Rod in the Dark Maze. We definitely need the lamp, as that Ice Rod is out of logic.
Alright, well, no, it's not. And we're not... Item-wise, Crimson has technically everything he needs, apart from lamp. Yes, that's out of logic, but I'm going to assume for just a second he knows how to do the dark room strats. So in terms of item count, he's set. But yeah, we're still missing a few key items here. We're still missing a few key things here, mostly the big key to GT.
That's the most important one too, and at this point it can be anywhere, including the basement of GT.
Yes, it can. We've seen between the two of them probably two-thirds of the items on the board. There's a small piece of heart. So Farfelu is going to do the traditional go to the front and go to the back and then clear out the left side, I think.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to come back in for left side if he has to.
I imagine, given the circumstances, he will. Unless he draws, big key out of GT at this point, but even then, you know, that ice rod remains elusive. Well,
and there's our final sword.
Well, you talk about your overkill. Well, doesn't get much more overkill than that. Alright, so...
Yeah, at this point, you're at the power level of a hundo run. And that's just insane.
Yeah. Whereas Crimson's still at blue sword, but that's not a bad thing to be at, so... given this dungeon, that's where you would be normally anyways. Alright, so everything accounted for.
Except for the big key chest in pod, and Argus is down on Farfelu's side. It's a small key. This is the other castle tower small key, but I don't think we need that right now.
I don't think so either, but, so now Farfelu has to decide. Go back? He is going back.
This makes a lot of sense because you still have 2 items left in play. The risk here for Farfelu would be if you left both, you could have potentially left 1 or both items behind, and that risk seemed like a risk too great based off this move, and quite frankly, I don't blame him.
No. So they're back even 4-4 on crystals. Avix is done in order: Thieves, Skull, Ice, and Pod. Farfelu has done Ice, Thieves, Desert, Mire. So we're getting some variety here in the routing. You don't always see in rando, but given the way the items have shaken out and kind of what has potentially been available and not available to them at a given moment has... Farfelu can't do that.
Yeah, I think he forgot to use the key. That might be muscle memory betraying him. Happens to even the best of us.
Well, yeah. Yeah, it is easy to kind of forget in that respect, because you are kind of operating, as you say, on muscle memory, especially because this kind of setup doesn't really happen all that often. I mean, how often do you really practice for this?
Truth is, inverted, I do not practice it.
No.
I'm more likely to practice a speedrun of anything than an inverted seed, because that's how little I play inverted as Crim finds the Titans mix.
So a nice little find there for CrimsonAvix. Again, still probably behind. Does have the ice, but that advantage lasts only as long as Farfelu staying away from Pod, but that's not going to be for too much longer, I think.
Yeah, it might be after this.
Or, yeah. It's that, or it's, Pod. It's Skullwoods, and just finish that off. That would give him 5 crystals, alright. Crimson also missing TR and Desert big keys, that's true.
Oh my! That's the big key of Ganon's Tower. Left side swamp, having the goods.
Yeah, that puts Farfelu firmly in control here. Again, still needs Ice Rod, but once that happens, that's go mode, I believe.
Yeah, that's go mode. I mean, he's already done Mire. He'd just have to basically blitz the rest at that point. If he goes to Pod, then that would be all, but then this thing's all but over. But for now, we just keep right on going, because it ain't over till you see the dot done in the race time run.
Exactly. Well, it looks like Farfelu is going to do... no, never mind. Well, yeah, he's going to check, because never know.
Yeah, he doesn't know it, but let's see what it is.
Yeah.
And just a small amount of money. Nothing important, so that confirms that pedestal is truly dead.
Well, we had to hope, but it was pretty much officially dead anyways. But at least insofar as something actually happening for this seed. But such as it is. So we're on our way now to Farflu's on his way to take on Mothula. This time, he's ready. He is loaded for bear on this one.
And the reason why Krim doesn't have the TR big is he has yet to go into Misery Mire. Which, if he does, will be great for him because he'd get his silver arrows. Maybe he's running... The only thing I can think of is he's running around to try and find land.
That's my guess as well. Nobody's checked King's Tomb, have they?
No, that's exactly what I was going to suggest, as farfelu has picked up the Bombos medallion.
That's 5 for farfelu, closing in. He's gonna check the big chest, which makes sense. That's a good move part. At this point, he's gonna be hundoing dungeons until he finds that ice rod.
Yeah, which at this point is very understandable, because you have to have the ice rod to beat the game. Maybe he comes across the lamp in his travels, maybe he doesn't. We shall see.
Oh.
Yeah, he's trying to bomb jump across this gap, which is a 2-pixel setup, and I believe he's got it. Didn't even use the boots to bomb, which is a safety strat, which makes it from a 2-pixel bomb jump to a 6.
Right.
I think he's making the play to Eastern. He's not gone to Sahasrara yet, which will get him his red mail.
Yeah, farfelu is going to go into pod. Is going to finish this off. Yeah. You get electrocuted and you somehow end up with a fairy.
Nintendo logic for you folks.
Yeah, I'm just describing that to just video game logic in general.
Yeah, that works too.
Pretty much everything I've seen in, 30 years or something. Oh, he's going for Helmasaur, like now.
Yeah, this is a strategy that does make sense. It would be his 6th crystal. He might be feeling behind, so he's thinking just blitz the boss and then worry about the rest of the dungeon. See how this plays out. Looks like Crim's going for Laser Bridge, maybe thinking that the Turtle Rock Big Key rolled vanilla, or French vanilla, as it were, at Key Sanity. Won't be the case, but it can't hurt to make these type of checks in a Key Sanity, because sometimes they do turn out in your favor.
And he needs that kind of stuff really at this point, because he is really behind the eight here. He's only got 4 crystals, and he's running out of room. There's the big key to Skullwoods.
It didn't wind up being anything important. And looks like he's going to go to Crystal Roller the back way.
Yeah. Alright, so farfelu got crystal number 6. Does he go back in? No!
Uh-oh. No, wait. Hold that thought. He's going into Eastern to deal with it. I get this play because it's basically what we do in any other seed, where if you have a chance to do Pod and Eastern back-to-back, you do it. It makes sense. I get the routing. It's just that, unfortunately, what he needs is on the other side. He doesn't know it, but we do in the commentary.
Right.
He might also be thinking that Green Pendant's the Ice Rod, which is fair. And it looks like Crim's gonna head into Hera to mop that up. We have not seen... I don't think we've seen Hera Basement yet. Oh wait, Ether Tablet. I don't think we saw this either. Aw, $20. He wanted a peanut. Nope, not going into Hera. Instead, gonna go to Spike Cave. Another check we have not seen tonight. And it's a heart container. I was worried he was gonna run out of magic at the wrong time there. farfelu has walked the dark path to the Eastern Big Key chest. Does an item dash to get out of the room quickly. Very nicely done. Saves a little bit of time. Now he's heading for the boss. Crim is having a look at Agina. And he's giving him the business with the bomb. And he gets a pod small key. So, yeah. I can see why some runners do that, especially in early seeds that are a bit more traditional, because there is such a thing as Dirty Agina. Ask anybody who's played SMZ3, as myself and farfelu has.
Alright, so, yeah. Problem? Magic Cape, I guess,
Well, Magic Cape plus Green Pendant. Crim's now got Magic Powder. But this is actually going to work out well for Krim, because if he goes back-to-back here, he'll go into Mire and be able to get his silver arrows.
Right.
As well as the other... As well as the Turtle Rock Big Key.
Oh,
there's the lamp! Oh! Game throwing a curveball at us. I'm guessing because of where the Eastern Big Key was, where it wasn't a fire-locked room. Put that in logic, and Krim is short on magic.
Yep. So farfelu is heading back to Pod. It looks like. That seems that the lamp has given him the impetus. Like, oh yeah, I might want to do that.
In all honesty, I did not see that coming at all. Which proves that even in a crazy mode such as Inverted, the game's going to throw a curveball and you're going to learn something from it. That is one heck of a curveball. One that rolled right off the table, and I swung through it and missed.
Well, that's the kind of ending... Sort of hypothesizing that kind of logic, pretty bonkers. You know, it's like how could you really sort of come up with, you know, oh yeah, the lamp is there with sarsaparilla. You know, I suppose, you know, there are crazier things, but you know, it's not the kind of thinking you normally associate with, anyways.
Yeah, it's not something I would expect. I'm not sure if that's an inverted thing or not. Maybe that could happen in a typical rando seed in the event that the Eastern Bay Key was available in the first two checks and you already had the Fire Rod. I have no idea, because I have never seen that before.
Yeah. Alright, got his...
Nice hammering up.
Alright, that's go mode.
It's a 145-23 go mode for farfelu, and from here he's just going to be blitzing to the end game. He's got one dungeon left, and that is Turtle Rock. Krim is running through Mire at this point. He'll find what he needs to enter go mode here, other than the lamp. I do not know how well Krim knows the Mire Darklands, though. But he's a veteran of this game, so...
Oh.
Anything's possible, if you ask me.
I imagine he'll have at least he'll have some familiarity with it. Be my guess, but we'll see. Alright, so yeah, he's gonna access, I think, through Laser Bridge. Save himself some trouble.
Not just some trouble, but a healthy amount of time, too.
Well, that, yeah, on top of everything else. Alright, here we go. Underway, and to finish this off, you know, pretty much everything he needs to make this run, so let's see. So with Gold Sword, you know, it's going to be 3 hits per head. No problems there. Well,
he went for the 0 cycle strat. Unfortunately, missed his shot, though, so...
He missed more than one, and...
Yeah, sometimes that happens, where you miss the Ice Rod multiple times, where you miss the Ice Rod once, and suddenly you're missing a lot of shots.
Yeah, it's like, it does kind of run in streaks, I think, but no problem with Trinex, so that's it. There's silver arrows for CrimsonAvix. Like, good time to get it, considering, but, alright, so 147.51 for farfelu.
And he's going to be on his way back to Hyrule Castle because in Inverted, one of the things that switches is Castle Tower and Ganon's Tower. They literally switch spots. You go into Castle Tower where Ganon's Tower is in a normal game, and vice versa.
Yeah, it's actually a nice little design quirk that you know, it really brings home that whole inverted idea for sure. And so, unlike the traditional randomizer, there will be no chess game this time. This is a straight shot.
Looks like Krim is having a bit of trouble in the Mire Dark Room. Uh-oh. He was at half a heart, and then the shooters shot him down.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. You know, that is probably the hardest dark room game. Because you're being attacked from multiple directions, and you have, you know, basically get bombarded.
Yeah, and you're also fumbling for a floor switch in the dark, which is not a good time.
No. It's one of those things where you really need, like, a consistent setup to make it work, and that's easier said than done when you're getting, again, bombarded in multiple directions.
Not just multiple directions, but multiple directions in the dark.
Right. Welcome, Fairy for CrimsonAvix gets ready to take on the Dark Room again. He'll have plenty of breathing room. Whereas farfelu, yeah, he's gonna. I'd be surprised if he makes a pit stop for a Fairy. Nope, he's gonna go straight ahead into the gauntlet. Doesn't need no Fairy.
Yeah, I think he's doing... Well, personally, I think he's doing this because he's not seen a dot done yet. We're an hour 50 in. Granted, inverted key sanity does take longer. However, typically a standard seed, a Link to the Past random seed, you're typically seeing a dot done a little bit before the 90-minute mark. Although inverted key sanity is not your typical mode at all.
No, yeah, but even he's getting clobbered here. Okay, he's finally through. Yeah, even with, you know, inverted key sanity, there's only so much, you know, stretching that happens as far as, you know, the length of a seed. Ooh, he misses his opening shot again. He's 0 for 2 on Lammo's. Anyway, like, there's a certain logic to it all, and, you know, even with everything in play, you know, over 2 hours probably is unusual, especially if you're a really accomplished player.
That is true, although inverted key sanity can certainly, well, it certainly stretched things out on me and my opponent last night, but that's neither here nor there.
Right, and it is longer, but you know, Silver Arrow's pretty much one-shot everything. Vitreous is the only boss that, apart from Ganon, that need more than one, and he only needs 2.
It's interesting that Mothula, for some reason, takes no damage to arrows.
Yeah, well, I don't know, some sort of undead thing. I don't know, some special undead thing. It'd be the only guess I could come up with.
Yeah, it's one of those that I have no answer for. Meanwhile, Krim having all kinds of trouble with this Meyer Dark Room.
Yeah, this...
Yeah, he's resetting the room. At this point, I don't blame him, because that turned into complete total chaos. Farfelu is at Moldorm 2. This is just 2 strikes to the gold sword, and that'll be that.
He's having a hard time getting that second swing. Finally does it. Alright, so... to take on Aghanim.
Krim's through the first of the dark rooms. If you ask me, that's the really hard one. This third one gets annoying because of the spike. And your usual counter of trying to hold the sword out is a shooter that'll go rapid fire on you.
Yeah. Alright, so underway now with Aga 2 gets a single off of that.
Aghanim's not kind with that pattern.
Yeah, he's not good. Okay, that's a decent pattern. There's a double. Oh, it looked like a double. That's 3 singles so far.
Salvage a single out of that one. They're staying barely in sync, which is... Oh, and he finishes it with a double.
So 4 singles and a double. Yeah, it's not quite what he was hoping for. Crimson, I think, has just hit the wall here. He knows he needs to do this, but, you know, it's like he just needs something to go right for himself. And I think at this point, he's probably waiting, like, where's the dot done?
Yep. Doesn't matter how many randomizers you've played or what randomizer you played, there are seeds like this where you are just waiting for the dot done to where you can just toss in the towel.
Yeah, I've certainly had my share of that when I have competed in A Link to the Past Rando, where it's like, you make a couple of serious errors and, they really add up, and after a certain point, you realize, based on the logic of how everything works, like you know it's coming. All right, so phase 3 now for Ganon. Bouncing around a little bit to start. Farfelu not getting a lot of help from Ganon here.
Yeah, Ganon's like trying to buy Krim some time here with all the teleports. Like that, I lost count of how many that was on that one.
It was about 6 or 7. Yeah, it was a lot. Okay, so there's a nice single. Looks like Farfelu's gonna have to do one more fire rod, but that will do it. So Farfelu moves to 2-1 in group play, very well situated for the next to move on to the next round. So get out your GGs as Farfelu finishes with an official race time of 1 hour, 56 minutes, and 22 seconds.
Krim's out of the dark, but only at 1 heart. Oh, he almost got caught by that spike slider.
Yeah. Alright, so take on that, grab that anti-fairy. Should be able to make this work. And we are joined by the winner of tonight's race, Farfelu. GG.
Hi, GG.
GG, Farfelu. That was a very impressive run. Early game, you gave that a very good A+ gamer's effort against Mothula with only 4 hearts. It's just unfortunate that did not work out. and then come to find out later that you had to beat Mothula anyway for Bombos.
Yeah, I was a bit stubborn in this one. To be honest, I had a good opening. I was pretty sure I would have it because of the full magic. But I missed a few fire rod shot, and yes, I missed. And the second time was even worse. But I have a question: is it normal that you don't get a stun prize from the Gibdo? Or it's because I killed them by fire red shot? Because I was sure I could enter my second fight with full magic again, but I did not get those stun prize.
Yeah, I noticed that myself on my race yesterday, where I stunned and burned a Gibdo. Apparently, this is my guess, is that when you burn an enemy, you also burn your stun prize, and the prize pool reverts.
Oh, that's unfortunate, because the first time I killed a stun Gibdo, I got a full magic, but maybe it was just a fluke. Because every time after I killed those, I did not get any full magic. But yeah, that's a long ride, but to be honest, that's only my second finish inverted key sanity. My first was yesterday, so yeah, I know I made some mistakes. Sometimes I just don't remember. Am I in the dark or the light world? But that's interesting to try new modes. That's why I joined this tournament.
Yeah, yeah. The one question I had is, you took care of business in Eastern, and you get the lamp from Sahasrara. If you hadn't gotten the lamp, were you planning on finishing Pod, which ended up giving you the ice rod?
Yeah, sure. But... yeah, the idea was to clear Eastern and Sarasala for just in case I find more small keys Pod, so I don't have to take the big detour 3 times to clear the dungeon. And yes, I found some small keys, so I could open the first door and clear it faster.
Yeah, yeah. So fortunately, it worked out for you as far as that goes. But yeah, it took a long time. I think it took a long time for both of you to really kind of find your footing as far as items and clearing dungeons. You were the first one to finish a crystal dungeon, and that was a 58-minute mark. So it was definitely one of those seeds where once everything kind of locked in, then it got a lot easier. But it was a long road getting there.
Yeah, plus I feel like there's maybe 10 minutes at the beginning I didn't know really what to do. Dying at Moth, going to that mountain, going back and forth. So maybe I could have get my first crystal 10 minutes sooner, but maybe that's just because the lack of experience. But yeah, it was the same feeling. I felt as well there was a lot to do before being able to do something, and then I just had the full inventory. Oh, and by the way, if you're wondering, what was the small key at Lumberjack? It's Turtle Rock. I have them all except one at Turtle Rock.
Yeah. Well, it was like, in fairness, there was a lot of flailing from both you and Crimson early on. The seed was not giving you any health for a start, and I think that was kind of limiting to some degree some of your movements. And yeah, there was but you're also at the same time there was a lot to do. It was just really a question of trying to make it all work, and it took a good 30-40 minutes, I think, for both of you to really kind of get an idea of okay, now this is what the seed is telling us to do.
Yeah, I think so, but again, I think I fought too hard at the beginning, fighting the logic. Because, with an early eater, boots, we knew we could go to Meyer, and then we had access to that mountain, but I was still fighting Mutt and trying to avoid that logic. But yeah, after having a few items, yeah, it became a lot clearer.
Mm-hmm. But no, overall, and so that moves you to 2-1 in group play, which all but assures you a lot in the into the brackets. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, of course, that winning is reassuring. But well, sorry, I'm not sure how to express it, but I play for fun. Let's see where it can lead us.
No.
I'm not sure I'll go that far because there were 4 modes out of 5 I had never played before the tournament. I'm more a SimZ3 player, so
Yeah.
Link to the Past randomizer. Of course, there are some common points, but there's still a lot of difference between those games. So I don't expect much, but yeah, I'm here for learning and looking forward to watch the restream back exactly for.
It's a good. I would say that's a good mindset. Show up and see what happens. You know, it's like that for randomizer. You know, that's pretty much all you can do. It's like you're at the mercy of the game's random whims. So show up and run it from there.
I will say this from my end, that experience from playing the Link to the Past side of the SMZ3 Compromiser definitely showed in this run with some very impressive skills.
Yeah, definitely. And Crimson just picked up the GT Big Key and Swamp. Is 1 key away. He's the big key from Desert away from getting to go mode here. So.
All right, so I will let you finish the run. Thanks for the stream again.
Mm-hmm.
And
absolutely.
Have a good night.
All right, yeah, GG's once again, farfelu. Thanks.
GG's, farfelu. It was our pleasure.
Yeah,
thank you.
Absolutely. All right, so Crimson almost. I think this is going to be go mode in a minute, if I remember right.
Yeah, he seems to be having a bit of trouble with the diver down setup.
Yeah, I had trouble with the first one, and yeah, he's having a little trouble here with the second diver down. Can't quite find the right pixel to kind of wedge his way in.
He missed it by that much. He almost had
it. Yeah, he's getting a little tilted here. Trying to make this run work. Okay, there it is. Bombs. Money.
I know he's definitely close to getting Tempered Sword, as the sword here was Butter Sword for Farfelu. It'll be Tempered Sword for Crimson, and that's also a plus, because the difference between Master and Tempered is pretty sizable, pretty noticeable.
Well, yeah, look at the Argus fight. Instead of 2 hits per puff, it's 1. So, that alone is save quite a bit of time and effort. And I'm sure Crimson, is feeling some relief on that front. Because, in terms of progress, that has been hard coming for him the last really 15-20 minutes, because Meyer was a nightmare for him, and he's just not having a lot of luck. Oh. Alright, there it is.
I feel like, based off my notes, I didn't note where it was, but I think the Desert Big Key was behind Light World access, based off my notes.
I believe you're right, yeah.
Alright, so since Crimson still has a little ways to go, first with the Desert Palace Big Key and then finishing that off and then GT, we're going to go ahead and raid him.
Alright.
So let me just go ahead and finish up here.
And do give our runners a follow, incidentally, if you haven't already. Some fine play tonight.
Absolutely, I was impressed with the play from both runners tonight, especially from what I saw out of farfelu, the skills he has. He could easily be a top-level player of this randomizer, or this vanilla game, for that matter, based off what I saw.
Yeah, he's certainly got plenty. He did pretty well considering he had his back to the early and often, but managed to really pull through and keep it together.
Yeah, and thank you both for commentating this, as well as to Tomaltech for tracking.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks to Tomaltech for not only doing a great job tracking, but also keeping us, straight with a lot of good information and tips.
Alright, so next on our schedule, I don't have anything tomorrow. We might get a challenge cut match depending on volunteer availability, but of course, yeah, we'll see about that. But next up, we do have Skyward Sword Randomizer Co-op race at 4:30 p.m. Eastern on Friday. Yeah, thank you all so much for watching. We'll go share on Crimson, and we will see you next time.
All right.